Yo guys, welcome to the last lap.
Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. We are going to be discussing a big topic here, all right? We're going to be talking about the best title races in Formula One history, okay? And I'm talking a championship fights, bare knuckle, down to the ground, brawl,
right,
flipping. Yeah, I was there.
Nelson Piquet over here.
James Hunt.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. We're going to be discussing the dirtiest, grittiest title battles and ranking our top 5 in Formula One history. Now, we're all going to have our own top 5s. We're going to go through them all and chat about some of the biggest ones. All right, now, Tommo.
Shall I start?
Where do you want to start? What I suppose we've probably got to go with one that's very recent, right?
Okay, so P5 in my list. 1984, Niki Lauda, Alain Prost, half a point.
Half a point.
Half a point.
Oh, so you're going to get more of stats rather than...
No, not necessarily.
He's a stats man.
P4.
Well knowledge.
2010, Sebastian Vettel, out of nowhere. P3, 2012, Sebastian Vettel, storming, finishing into Lagos for that.
Quite literally a storm, yeah.
That was all about Alonso until the end. P2, 2008, Hamilton. Beat Felipe Massa.
Yeah.
In the Interlagos.
Yeah.
And number 1, 2021, Max Verstappen.
I thought you were going to say 2020 for a second. I was like, not sure about that one, mate. Valtteri Bottas is a great driver, but
That's my 5.
that's your 5. The half point one, not going to lie, Tommo, I wasn't there for that one. So unfortunately.
I was not there. I did not watch that live.
I was 9 years from being there.
Yeah.
So,
I thought you like, I was 9. I was like, what?
I'm 47. So yeah, I think I put that one in like a championship to come down to half a point.
Yeah.
And
That's kinda crazy,
And you know, Alain Prost did what he could, but Niki Lauda in that final race of the season.
Yeah.
Alain Prost won it, but Niki Lauda finished second. He finished third when Ayrton Senna was third in a Tolman back in the day when Tolman
Cooking.
It was early stage Ayrton Senna.
I do like that one.
Half a point.
Yeah.
Like everyone lost their minds. Like 1 point between Max and Lewis, or level 1 point. Sorry, in 21. But like a title decided by half a point. And this is back in the mid '80s as well. When actually, for me, this one like it has to go in there because in terms of so many points on offer now. So the chance of 1 point coming in between two drivers, I mean, it was ridiculously unlikely.
It was mad that we even had that in Abu Dhabi.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That would never be that close. I don't think a title will ever come to... I think that 1984, that will be it for the rest of
Half point, I'm guessing there was a race that got red flagged.
But with your third place one of the dominance with Vettel, I wouldn't say that's much of a battle between other people. It's more just him just dominating that sort of championship.
No, but he didn't dominate in 2012.
Oh, which one was I thinking of?
Vettel 2012 is when he spun in Brazil in the rain at the start because he got hit by Bruno Senna.
28,
yeah, and then he overcame adversity.
Yeah, because he could that's when Fernando's like, is it that one when he's like,
he's staring down,
PTSD. For me as well, like when I'm deciding this list, I'm thinking about not the entire season. Obviously, the finale is a big part of it and how close everything is. But there also has to be that sort of like storyline of the season of a title battle. And 2012 was ridiculous. Like absolutely mad. Like obviously you had the craziness at the start of not knowing who the fuck was even involved in the title race because there was like eight different
winners in the first 7 races.
Yeah, it was 7 in the first 7. Yeah.
Vibes. Oh, imagine that these days.
Yeah, God, I could only dream. And then obviously there's certain iconic races in the middle of the season where it's sort of one punch landed, then counter punch. Fernando Alonso winning in what was the street track? Was it Valencia?
Yeah, I think that was his last win.
Yes, that was his last one.
Yeah, and obviously one of the greatest finales in terms of a race.
This is what I'm like with all of them. Apart from the 21 Verstappen one, right? I think for me it's like to have it like overcome adversity right at the end. For me, is what's made all of these kind of apart from the first one, I guess. But all my middle ones, like that's what made those championships memorable. What about your 5? Because we'll jump between.
I feel like we've all got the same number 1.
We've probably got quite similar ones.
Should we just confirm it? I have 2021.
I also have 20. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll skip that. Okay,
We can talk all about that at the end.
But yeah, so for me, number 5, I've got Schumacher versus Hill, Bear controversy. Also corrected on my phone to Jill. I was trying to write that one down, so big ups her. Mother's Day and that.
Jill Hill.
Jill Hill, great name. Someone's got to have that out there.
Yeah, of course.
Number 4 went for Hamilton versus Massa. So
2008. Okay.
Then number 3 was Alonso v Vettel, 2012. Number 2 went for Rosberg versus Hamilton, 2015. Bear drama all the way through the season. Crash at Catalonia, all that jazz. It was also just quite a unique one because it was like 2 teammates actually hate each other. It wasn't 2 people hate each other. Like Schumacher and Hill got a little bit deep at times and whatever, and there's always been rivalries in Formula 1 where people dislike each other. But 2 teammates who used to be childhood friends
Best
and go
mates.
partying together, best mates.
Yeah.
The narrative and storyline of that season that needs a film. Like that will get a movie at some
and even
point.
even nowadays, you're still seeing it with like don't really see it with Hamilton because obviously why would Hamilton be commentating on whatever Nico's doing?
Yeah,
but obviously Nico as a pundit now, he is having to comment on it, and you see those little bits of bias come through on his side. And
there was genuine, actual dislike between them, like as the season unfolded, plus all the crazy moments like Catalonia.
Yeah.
I think was the contact between them at Spa, that was 2014. That was like one of the first.
I think so. That's where
that's where it kind of
starts cracking.
And then Capgate at the end, when he throws the cap over at Cota, Circuit of the Americas, and Rosberg just chucks it back at him, and it's like genuine Vim.
Yeah.
He's genuinely like, I hope this hits you in the face.
That had the narrative, like
Like
2021 had that narrative around like 2 drivers. That season really had that.
That's where like the team just couldn't control their drivers at all.
And Mercedes, like, they have obviously their experiences of that season have shaped them and how they deal with drivers now, and they're a lot better at it. But even then, they weren't like bad. Like Toto Wolff is like a pretty good leader of men, and he still could not diffuse that situation at all.
He inherited them too, and I think he's gone on record saying he wouldn't have chosen. But I guess it's easy to say that in hindsight. But there were 2 quality racing drivers. Go on, Matt. You do your 5.
Well, my number 5 is also like you, is Schumacher versus Hill in 94. Just because, I'll go on to it a little later. I then put, Nico versus Lewis. I did originally put 2016, but I think 2015, it's because I'm thinking 2016 is when Rosberg won it.
Yeah, Rosberg won the championship.
2015 was more... There's more ignition.
It was like a disappointing way as well. That not that Rosberg won, he deserved it. But it was that anticlimactic Hamilton DNF at like Malaysia, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Malaysia.
And I was like,
so we kind of already knew it was over.
For third place, I put in Senna versus Prost, 88. There's some iconic battles in there, of them just like, because originally it was them both at McLaren, then they went to polar opposite teams, and them colliding and just being really cutthroat with each other. Absolutely loved that. Second place for me, I put Hunt versus Lauda, 1976, one of the most famous rivalries out there. Obviously got the film Rush about it. I think that's where the story of the season was so big that they had to make a whole film about it, and it's one of my favorite seasons. Is why Hunt is one of my favorite drivers, and obviously number 1 is Max versus Hamilton.
Well, I think with Hunt and Lauda, it was also because their characters were just so polar opposite.
Totally. You kind of got the bookworm, the guy who knows how the car works, and then you got the guy who just sleeps with anything that walks, and it's like it's
vibes.
And literally is general proper vibes going around, and I think. The rivalry was, you got a cocky guy he's a bit posh and he's coming from a rich kind of backing, and then you got the basically the opposite, where someone is also from money but is kind of trying to prove his worth with Lauda, from coming from his parents' banking and what have you, and just having to prove himself. And I think it comes down to like the 76 season where everything was thrown at the water, and the last race of Japan where it was a torrentious thunderstorm, and also this is where Lauda he came back after having his incidents and trying to rebuild and the championship fight, and it all came down to this last one, and then Lauda, he retired from that last race, but then it's obviously gone on to do like you mentioned, won more championships. But that one season there, it's kind of like, Hunt was kind of almost like the underdog a bit. Like obviously he worked up towards McLaren, but I thought that was a great season. So definitely keep into that top 5.
Again, like just really unique.
Yeah.
Like for me, when I was thinking about this, I was kind of like, what stands out as like a type of rivalry that just didn't happen ever again after that, or like that probably won't happen, or it will, like that is another one of those where just the storylines behind it is perfect for a film.
Yeah,
because they're just so different as
Mahad, what are you saying?
I've gone with the same on number 5, 1994, Hill Schumacher, just the desperation.
Oh, was it 94? I think I said 95.
That's real desperation right there. And then we saw it in. I was choosing between 1997, desperation, Michael Schumacher.
They're both the same.
Or 1994, but I've gone with 1994. And then I've gone for a different one. I've gone for 2010. Because one thing we haven't spoken about
2010 P4 as well.
Legendary bottling. And Alonso was in the lead before we're coming into that race.
Yeah, facts.
He was in the lead of the championship.
How much
there
of
was
that do you
multiple
think
people that could win on champ.
was on Ferrari, and how much do you think? Because Ferrari pitted him.
Shout out Vitaly Petrov.
Well, it was more Renault played a bit of a worldie with both Kubica and Petrov, didn't they? And then Fernando ended up behind and then just stayed there.
It's just about just that imagery of him staying there and just not getting past Petrov. And this championship's
like
on the
tough to
line right
watch.
there.
It's also, again, like the weirdness of it is because Vettel didn't lead the championship once before the final race of the season.
Yeah.
And then the one time he won it, the one time he was leading the championship was when it mattered.
And wasn't Webber
was
leading?
up there. Webber was
Going
leading.
into it.
There was a bit where McLaren was leading for a bit during the
McLaren kept
season.
breaking down.
McLaren started breaking down and
Webber
so on.
crashed in
It
Korea.
was like a yo-yo of a season.
Yeah.
And then it came down to that at the end of just not getting past Petrov.
Yeah.
Not being, they weren't really relevant in that season in terms of championship. But yet they decided, Petrov decided it.
Yeah, he is like, that's what he's known for, like Vitaly Petrov.
Yeah.
I just forgot he existed.
But I mean, that happens. Like, I'm not like Latifi decided 2021. Like, it's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time that a random driver in the field determines a championship.
We've all gone for 2021.
And that's one of those ones that was determined by somebody else, 2008. That's my third one.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Lewis Hamilton, Massa.
Yeah.
The famous headbutt of the Ferrari mechanic.
So funny. So funny.
Just the absolute chaos.
I think my funny thing about that is kind of like it's a bit like this set where you got integrations, but it was all acrylic. So as soon as the head come off, all the acrylic just falls off. Normal branding left.
I don't think there's been one where there was just like so much joy in a garage and then just vacuum taken away.
And Nicole Scherzinger as well. Like we're jumping up and down with the camera guy.
So many like iconic shots and like pictures. Like if you went through, like if you downloaded the video of that race, and then took all the stills from like the final lap, there's so many like iconic pictures. It's just,
and I just like, and I was a McLaren fan, so I'm a McLaren fan. And I was watching it and I was like, what the hell? Because I came into that race thinking, Massa's got this wrapped up. Massa should have maybe wrapped it up before.
Well, it was like the confusion as well coming over the line. Because we kind of didn't. We were like, oh, wait, what is that? Like, obviously, Isaac Locke, but like, you still weren't sure. Until it was actually. It's one of them when it's a mathematical like, what's like. I mean, I remember watching that as a kid. And just like, you think you're never going to see anything like that ever again. And then 2021 rolls around.
Facts.
And I think my second one, obviously 2021 is my number one, but 1989, Senna Prost, just the narrative between these two over the years, just insane. Well, the fact that they went to have two title deciders.
There's something special about just two of them.
And it went
as well.
It's just them two as well.
And it went down to the final day. I don't know if I can combine both of those years, but it's just the narrative is just insane.
Because 2010 was mad because you had again 4 drivers who could have won that. Lewis was a long shot, obviously, but there's something about when it's just two.
It's a duel. It's like pistols at dawn.
And even though the idea of having loads to fight in is great, I think having a 2-driver in terms of the intensity, because then all the focus, we saw that because if 1989 had been in this generation, if all of these examples of 2 championship like 2 car championships was in the social media generation. Like the way it's framed and having such different personalities as well, I think only adds to.
Yeah, I mean, literally the last race with 2021, it was the it was 21. It's the most viewed sporting event, I believe it is, the season finale, because of this huge Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton battle that's been going on entirely, and to the point where like who's going to win it, and it's become now one of the.
I think that was like, as far as any of the battles that we talk about here, that was the one that I think got most people in Formula One history to ever watch Formula One.
Oh yeah.
There's never ever been a point where that many people have been interested in Formula One ever.
Like having
because of what happened, and even going into it in the first place.
Because even without the, lapped cars, all that, right? Even without that, level on points going into it.
Yeah.
Like that's so ridiculously unlikely.
The level of anticipation before that race, I've never seen it enough.
Yeah. Like my dad doesn't watch any Formula One whatsoever, and he was telling me like, oh, I was watching it. I was like, why are you watching it? He was like, oh, because it looks great. And I was like, but you don't watch it. Like, we having non-sports fans watching it, it's good then.
And I think that kind of combines to the season being a banging season as well, and leading up to it. So like there was so much turning points throughout.
That's the thing. We've literally
coming up to the point, and it wasn't even like, oh, we had a load of boring races where we knew what was going to happen. We saw the punches. It's like boxing.
There was like
Max making his punches.
Yeah.
And we saw Lewis fighting back, and we saw Lewis do the 3 wins in a row towards the end and fighting back, and then we saw the finale. The anticipation for that, I don't think it matches with any other.
I think the sport peaked then. Like, to be honest,
Nirvana.
I'm not even talking about. I'm not even talking about the result. I'm talking about the season up to the start of that race.
I think there was like 2 shit races that season.
That will never be beaten.
Max.
Yeah. Like, there were so many good races.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, when I look at this list, it has to be. If a championship's going to be decided by the last race, inherently it's been competitive season because you'll be able to have multiple potential race winners. And that's why I think with most of mine, I've picked when has there been right at the end of the race, in the example of like Hamilton 2008, Verstappen 2021, or has it been just like a worldie of a comeback? Like when Vettel spun, in Interlagos in 2012, like, I think pretty much everyone wrote him off. That can easily...
It's over,
That easily breaks your suspension. Yeah, it doesn't take much. We saw it today with like Piastri, like a little touch and the whole front wing like disintegrates. But for that, for me, I'm still putting like 2008 Hamilton clear. Like it's the last corner of the last lap. That has to be second. That has to be second.
Yeah, no, agreed. Actually,
That's the last corner of the last lap.
Yeah.
If we're talking about individual races
to win the championship,
that's the thing. It's more. Yeah, it's a top 5 championship. Or is it a top 5 racing?
Yeah,
that's a great.
I think Senna Prost is a better championship than Max.
Yeah,
Hamilton,
I would agree.
obviously.
Yeah, but they're still both within. Like they're both close enough to. Yeah, Ferrari bottled it with like Massa and was it with the fuel line in it, but like
no facts.
But it inherently has to be a tight championship for it to go to the last race.
Yeah, I think I agree actually, because the only reason I didn't put that, I think I put it number 3, was just because the season as a whole was not crazily memorable. No, it was, but like not to the same degree. Like there was no storyline between really like Felipe Massa and Lewis Hamilton. It was just like
you're right. That
it wasn't like a rivalry, and then
and then it just happened to go
you're right.
like the last race.
That is the way that it falls short for sure.
Yeah, but
and that is a big part of it. That clearly is a big part. It's sport. Like it's not just about player 1, player 2, player 3, car A, car B.
I think most of us agreed on Schumacher and Hill in 94.
Yeah.
What's the more spicy one? Are you sticking with 94 or 97?
I think
97 is funny because he like got into real issues with that.
Yeah.
Doing it, and then he was pretending to have amnesia. I don't remember. I don't just.
I do.
That's so funny.
I originally,
to me as a kid, I was like, "What are you talking about?" Why is it being like on a press conference on the news and everything? Like, what are you talking about? This is ridiculous.
Just never admit fault.
I originally put 94, but I do think I think maybe 97, just because it's more bands.
I don't know. I just think that 94. I remember like just Michael like sitting outside of the fences, just like smiling to himself.
Yeah.
He got away with it.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, but he
94
knew
is
that he'd done
more
it.
iconic, I think,
Yeah.
to be honest. I think 97's almost just like, Michael, come on, mate, you've done it already.
Yeah.
Like,
Stop it.
Well, like, was it Brundle? Brundle was like, oh, you hit him on the wrong place, Michael.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
wasn't that? And I mean, Jacques Villeneuve World Championship. That was pretty
Second,
vibey.
in his second season.
Yeah,
Outrageous.
Yeah, that is bad, actually.
Well, we all kind of agreed on. Yeah, I think we're kind of mostly in agreement.
We've got an agreement on 5 and 1, and then just kind of like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of choices.
He's arguing over the vintage ones and the ones with Lewis.
Let us know in the comments below what your 5. What ones did we miss out? Because I'm sure there's some absolute.
there's
world-
loads.
Some in the 70s, I think 1974. Fiji? No, Fuji?
Fiji.
And the Fiji. Is there a race in Fiji?
Crazy, yeah.
Fiji Grand Prix.
Fiji.
What was that one?
I think it was.
Go on, I'm under pressure on this.
I'm under pressure now. I can't remember now.
Under pressure. Where's the brain? Where's the knowledge? Where's the knowledge when you need
I
it?
think it was.
I mean, mid-70s would
We go back to Fuji, by the way. That was crazy,
Fittipaldi era. Yeah.
That was sick. We had that rainstorm went to Fuji. That was-
Fuji's. Yeah, I'd like Fuji alternated with Suzuka. though.
Yeah, they should actually just do it. Like like 1 year, boom, go Suzuka. Get your figure of 8, because they always use that line. It was
Yeah.
figure of 8 track. Yeah, calm, okay, yeah, Croft to get that out of your system.
Yeah, like 130R's not even a corner anymore, you know,
Yeah, I know.
in these cars. Get Fuji back. Although Fuji final
Fittipaldi.
sets to
There was some
Yeah,
Fittipaldi.
Fittipaldi, that's it. In McLaren.
Yeah.
Throwback, back in the day. Oh yeah, didn't he win by like
1 by 3 points.
3 points?
Not half a point, no.
No, half a point.
not half a point.
Not half a point.
Not half a point.
Well,
It
let
isn't.
us know in the comments suggestions for top 5s for future.
All right, yeah.
Go through.
Yeah,
Boom.
exactly. Yeah, I like this.
Loved it. Bosh, job
Like
done.
and subscribe.
Always.